to express my outrage that your counterpart at Google is not at the table as well. Mr. Dorsey, as of January of this year, Twitter has taken down more than 3,800 Russian IRA accounts that by Twitter's own estimate reached approximately 1.4 million people. One of those accounts purported to be under the control of the Tennessee GOP, although it was not. It was a Russian IRA account. It had more than 140,000 followers and would sometimes spread conspiracy theories and false claims of voter fraud. My question to you is, once you have taken down accounts that are linked to Russia, these imposter accounts, what do you do to notify the followers of those accounts that they have been following or engaged in accounts that originated in Russia and are not what they appear to be?
Thank you for the question. We simply haven't done enough. So we don't have, in this particular case, we didn't have enough communication going out in terms of what was seen and what was tweeted and what people were falling into. We do believe transparency is a big part of where we need the most work and improvement. And it's not just with our external communications, it's actually within the product and the service itself. We need to meet people where they are. And if we determine that people were subject to any falsehoods or manipulation of any sort, we do need to provide them the full context of that. And this is an area of improvement for us and something that we're going to be diligent to fix.
I think this is critically important. If a follower just gets a message that says this Twitter account is no longer available, that does not alert the individual that he or she has been receiving messages, tweets from a Russian entity whose goal is to undermine public confidence in elected officials and our democratic institutions. So I really think we need something more than even the tombstone or something else. We need to tell people that they were taken in, or victims, innocent victims of a foreign influence campaign. Ms. Sandberg, let me ask you the same question. What is Facebook doing?
We agree with you that people need to know. So we've been discussing these publicly, as well as in specific cases notifying people. So we notified people directly if they had liked or had liked the original IRA accounts. Most recently, when there was an event that was going to be happening in Washington, that inauthentic accounts, we notified all the people who either RSVP'd to that event or who said they were interested in possibly going to that event.
Thank you. That was the Unite to Defeat the Right or something like that, as I recall. Mr. Dorsey, back to you. Clemson University researchers and others have shown that these Russian IRA accounts target specific leaders and social movements across the political spectrum. And again, the goal of the Russians, the Iranians, anyone else who's involved in this influence campaign is to undermine the public's confidence in political leaders and weaken our democratic institutions and turn us against one another. Well, I learned not from Twitter, but from Clemson University that I was one of those targeted leaders and that there were 279 Russian-generated tweets that targeted me that had gone to as many as 363,000 followers. So why doesn't Twitter notify individuals like me that we have been targeted by foreign adversaries. I shouldn't find out from looking at Clemson University's database and working with their researchers. It seems to me that once you determine that, you should notify the people who are the targets.
I agree, it's unacceptable. And we, as I said earlier, we want to find ways to work more openly, not just with our peer companies, but with researchers and universities and also law enforcement, because they all bring a different perspective to our work and can see our work in a very different light. And we are going to do, we're going to do our best to make sure that we catch everything and we inform people when it affects them, but we are not going to catch everything. So it is useful to have external partnership and work with them to make sure that we're delivering a message in a uniform manner where people actually are without requiring them to find a new channel to get that information. So this is where a lot of our thinking is going and a lot of our work is going, but we recognize we need to communicate more directly where people are on our service, and we also recognize that we're not going to be able to catch everything alone, so we need to develop better partnerships in order to do that.
I would close my questioning by encouraging both of you to work more closely with academia, with our government. The Clemson University researchers have done extraordinary work, but they have said that they've been provided data that is only within the last 3 years, which does not allow them to do the kind of analysis that they'd like to do. And that's probably because of the new European Union privacy laws, but the EU has provided research exemptions. So I hope that you will commit to providing data that goes beyond that 3-year window to researchers who are looking into Russian influence efforts on your platforms. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Harris.